Welcome to Blueprint Future, where we decode the trends shaping our tomorrow. You know, the conversation around AI has officially left the realm of science fiction. It's here, right now, and it's actively turning the global job market on its head, creating this period of just unprecedented disruption and volatility.
And this isn't some abstract number. I want you to look at this figure, 300 million. According to Goldman Sachs, that's how many full-time jobs around the world could be directly impacted by generative AI. Let that sink in for a second. This number tells us everything we need to know about the sheer scale of the shift we're all about to navigate. This isn't just a minor adjustment, it's a fundamental restructuring of how work gets done.
So, here's the crucial point. This isn't just a simple story of jobs being lost. No, it's way more complex than that. Analysts are calling it the Great Labor Restructuring, a massive, profound churn and reconfiguration of the entire labor market, and it's being driven by a whole bunch of powerful global forces, all converging at once.
And this is where the story gets really fascinating. The data from the World Economic Forum paints a pretty wild picture. It projects that by 2030, 92 million jobs will be displaced. But, and this is a huge but, a staggering 170 million new jobs will be created. You do the math, that's a net increase of 78 million jobs. So this isn't about the end of work. It's about a dramatic, once-in-a-generation transformation of work itself.
And you know, this whole restructuring isn't happening in a vacuum. It's being pushed forward by a few interconnected major trends. Of course, generative AI and automation are the big ones everyone's talking about, but you've also got the green energy transition, demographic shifts in advanced economies, and wider digital access all playing a huge role in shaping which jobs are going to thrive and which ones are, frankly, gonna vanish.
Okay, so let's get to the question you're all asking. Which jobs are most at risk? To really understand this, we've got to move past the old idea of simple versus complex jobs. A job's vulnerability today, it isn't about how hard it is. It's about a very specific set of characteristics that make its core tasks a perfect match for automation.
The jobs that are most vulnerable share what you could call a fatal combination of traits. It's like a perfect storm. Their tasks are highly digitized, they involve super repetitive processes, they're based on predictable patterns, and, there's a big one, they operate with low regulatory hurdles. When you get all four of those things together, a job basically becomes a prime target for automation.
Which brings us to our first category, and this is the absolute epicenter of cognitive automation. We're talking about roles where the main job is just the structured transfer of digital information. And that's a task that AI is now perfectly, almost flawlessly suited to perform.
So who are we talking about? We're talking about data entry clerks, administrative assistants, bookkeepers, bank tellers, and those Tier 1 customer service reps. I mean, for decades, these jobs have been the absolute backbone of business operations, but now their core functions are being systematically and very rapidly automated.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It captures the essence of the challenge. We have mature technologies, things like optical character recognition, natural language processing, and these incredibly advanced AI chatbots that can now do these tasks with superhuman speed and accuracy, 24/7, with no breaks, no fatigue, and no errors. Okay, next up, we're moving from the cognitive to the physical. The next major category is all about physical automation, where robotics and AI are completely transforming jobs that are defined by routine, manual labor, and logistical operations.
This bucket includes professions like assembly line workers, warehouse assemblers who pick and pack our orders, fast food cooks doing the same repetitive kitchen tasks over and over, and of course, drivers in transportation and delivery, especially with the rise of autonomous vehicles.
And the numbers, well, they're pretty stark. As this chart shows, jobs like bank tellers and assemblers are projected to see really significant declines. And broader research from MIT and Boston University backs this up, suggesting that AI and robotics are set to replace as many as 2 million manufacturing workers by 2026 alone. I mean, that's not some far-off future. That's right around the corner.
You know, for years, the common wisdom was that knowledge work, well, that was safe from automation. But the explosion of generative AI has completely changed the game. The new frontier for disruption is now hitting cognitive roles, jobs that require expertise, analysis, and creativity.
And this is where the story gets really surprising for a lot of people. We're now seeing major exposure for roles like paralegals, whose research tasks are being automated, certain kinds of graphic designers who work off templates, technical writers creating structured documentation, and even junior analysts, whose modeling and data crunching is now being done by AI.
And this has a really disproportionate impact on younger workers. Recent research shows that companies aren't adapting to AI by firing experienced people, but by shrinking their hiring of junior staff. AI is automating all those codifiable entry-level tasks that used to be the training ground for new graduates. It's creating this canary in the coal mine effect for the future of work.
But hang on, this isn't just a story about jobs disappearing. We need to make a really critical pivot here in the narrative, because the most effective strategy that's emerging from all this disruption isn't pure automation. It's human-AI collaboration, or what experts are calling augmentation.
And this right here, this is the central strategic question that every single business leader is wrestling with right now. Do you use AI to cut headcount for short-term savings, or do you use it to supercharge the capabilities of your human workforce?
Well, the data is becoming crystal clear. Pure replacement strategies, they show diminishing returns after you get those initial cost savings. The highest ROI, the real win, is found in an augmentation model, where AI handles the routine stuff, boosting productivity and freeing up your human employees to focus on the high-value work, strategy, innovation, and complex client relationships. Let's look at a real-world example. The financial firm Transamerica is a perfect case study. They eliminated 340 positions in routine document processing, but at the same time, they created 290 new roles in what they call augmented analytics. You see what happened? The value shifted from just doing the task to interpreting the insights that the AI generated. So what does this all mean for you, for your career? Let's shift our focus to an actionable playbook. In this new world, career security isn't about finding a safe job that'll never change. It's about actively building a future-proof skill set. The whole strategy really boils down to 3 core pillars. First, develop your uniquely human skills. We're talking creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, the things AI just can't replicate. Second, master AI collaboration. Learn to use these tools as a partner, as a co-pilot. And third, you have to embrace lifelong learning as a fundamental, non-negotiable part of your professional life. This table from the World Economic Forum. Wow. It basically spells out the entire playbook. On the left, you see the skills that are growing the fastest: AI proficiency, creative and analytical thinking, resilience, curiosity. And on the right, the skills that are declining the fastest: manual dexterity, endurance, and routine data processing. The message couldn't be clearer. The market is shifting away from manual execution and towards strategic thinking. And that brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. AI is a tool. That's all it is. But proficiency with that tool is rapidly becoming the new baseline for being competitive in the job market. The real threat isn't the technology itself, it's the person who knows how to leverage that technology to become exponentially more productive than you. So we're left with one final, provocative question. This massive restructuring is happening right now. And the choice is, are you going to be a passive artifact of a bygone era? Or are you going to be an active architect of our new, human-led, AI-augmented future? For more critical insights like this, make sure you subscribe to Blueprint Future.